Yo, today I'm going to be talking about how to stay fit in quarantine. I think the main thing, if you're going through quarantine right now or you're currently in lockdown, is to have that drive within you to be, let's say, motivated to continue to work out, even in less optimal circumstances. The main factor, I think, is the general lack of equipment that most people have, that most people don't have these fully set up home gyms like a lot of people we see online or on social media. So the main thing is to have that drive within you to actually spend the time each day and work out, get in a session, whether it be some active stretching, yoga, lower body or upper body workout, to do some kind of physical activity each day, I think is paramount. For myself, as I'm currently in a hotel quarantine, this is what I've been trying to motivate myself to do each day, even though it is tough. I wouldn't really say it's motivation that one needs, it's more you need that drive and that instinct to just get it done. For me personally, I like to turn up the music, blast music and get into it. It is very difficult though to have the motivation to work out. If you are a beginner, it's one thing. You can easily make good progress by doing push-ups, pike push-ups, pistol squats, Bulgarian split squats, certain variations, you will have good results. If you are intermediate to advanced, it becomes much more difficult. Therefore, I'm going to recommend in this video some exercises you can do for the upper body and lower body to maintain your gains, let's say, in this period. Most of the workouts you see or you may have seen online on like social media or YouTube just aren't really going to hack it. I mean, these HIIT workouts are great, but what exactly are they training? Most people are trying to build muscle. That is like the key goal, the thing that they are doing. And if you're seeing some of these people, they didn't build that muscle by doing such intensive burpees and cardio over time. I mean, doing something is better than nothing, but that's just not gonna hack it. So firstly, I'm going to actually recommend stretching. I think what I've prioritized in my 21-day quarantine here is ensuring I do a lot of dynamic stretches and I hold those positions for a long amount of time. So what I would usually do is just Google yoga 30-minute stretches, and you can find specific ones for days that you've been sore, if you have a tight lower back, pain in the lower back, tight hips. So you can find specific ones for any kind of limitations or aches, pains you may have in your body. And I've been doing these at least 30 minutes to an hour a day. I think this is actually important because one of the things most people neglect is their stretching. So in this period that one has more time, you're stuck in the same room, I think it's paramount to get your stretching in. And I found that my flexibility has improved a lot. Before I couldn't even bend over and reach my toes, my feet. Now I can already. I see the difference. I can hold positions for a lot longer. And my general flexibility seems to have increased significantly. My hips are a lot looser now as well. And I'm getting very, very good deep stretches in my hamstrings, my quads, my back, my upper back, basically over the entire body. So I've really seen being consistent with that, mainly 30 minutes every morning is what I do, has made a big difference. Due to the fact that stretching is neglected, you have no excuse. If you're currently in lockdown or in quarantine, I would highly, highly recommend it. And I think yoga is something that's very good because if your body is more flexible, you're able to hold more dynamic positions, and it's going to translate to pretty much every sport, and also weightlifting. If you have very tight shoulders, let's say, and if you do yoga that loosens out your shoulders, then you will have better range of motion, let's say for like a dumbbell press or a lateral raise, and you'll actually feel it. So I think firstly, if you are in quarantine or lockdown, is prioritize stretching. Don't go overboard. If you've not really done it before, I would say start off with 10-15 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week, and build up from there. Personally, I'm doing about 30 minutes every day because my body was extremely tight, also from a very long flight, so it was needed. So firstly, I'm going to run through my upper body workout. This will be all in the description box, what I'm currently doing. I do have one resistance band which I was able to bring, which is, I think, the weight resistance about 7 to 24 kilos. So this is what I've been using. Regardless, you can still do a lot of these exercises without the band, particularly push-ups. So I've been doing resistance band push-ups for 5 sets, or decline push-ups, which you can do with or without the band. And what I've been doing to make it harder is a pause. So at the bottom of the movement, you're pausing. You count 1, 2, 3, explode back up, or up to 5 seconds I've even done. And that will make it a lot more challenging. You will feel it in your chest and in your triceps a lot more. So pause push-up variations, I think, are great. Also, I've been doing resistance band shoulder presses with this band, which I think it's possible, which can be very explosive. Alternative would be a pike push-up if you don't have a band. But I mean, already with push-ups, you're hitting your front delt so much as well that this is sufficient. The less equipment you have, I think you can just really increase the intensity. One way you can do that is do more sets, do more reps that take you towards failure. These are bodyweight movements, so it's completely fine to go completely towards failure. And also, to make it tougher, is completely reduce the rest time. This isn't a heavy taxing compound movement where you need like 3 to 5 minutes rest. You can do the rest in 90 seconds to 2 minutes and really just hammer them out. I've also been doing resistance band upright rows. This can also be done with, let's say, water bottles or anything of some kind of resistance you can have in each hand as well. These upright rows have been good also to hit a bit of the traps and more of the deltoid muscles, with a pause at the top for at least 2 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds at the top of the movement. For the back, which I find is one of the harder body parts to work out, a lot of people do these kind of reverse inverted rows from a table and pull your body weight up, but I don't have the setup like that in this room. So what I've been doing is a resistance band bent over single arm row. You can keep your legs straight or bend your knees if you have slight lower back pain, and with that already you can get a very good stretch with each band into your back. You can pull it out and down towards your lats, and you do get a very good stretch on each side. Again, I do these pause for 1, 2, 3 seconds. Just do a simple count on each side, and that is hitting my lats. In finishing for my upper body, I will do a resistance band curl to complete failure and a resistance band tricep kickback. If you do not have a band, I would then suggest to do it with water bottles or anything that you have that is sufficiently heavy. If not, I would say just focus on your triceps, as this makes up the most of your arm. So I would go for close grip push-ups, and this is what I typically finish with. I mean, my rep scheme is typically 12 plus here. Also, because I'm utilizing pauses, you will actually reach failure quicker if you're doing a 3 to 5 second pause. Whereas for the lower body, I think the hardest group to really work out, as you can really use a lot of resistance for your lower body, and if you do not have equipment, it is difficult. What I start off with is 100 rep squats, just free weight. I just do 100 reps, and it does burn. Once you get to the 50th, 60th rep, it does become a challenge to get to 100. After that, like 1 minute rest, straight into resistance band Bulgarian split squats. If you don't have a band, you can just do these without the band and pause at the bottom. You could do a 2 second pause at the bottom, or even do pulses, and you will feel the burn. I'm doing these for about 20 reps. After the 100 reps, standing squats into the 20 reps, the burn is real, man, I'll say that. So this is actually quite good and surprisingly efficient. After that, I've been doing a movement which works on your balance and hits your hamstrings, which is a single leg RDL, where basically you balance on one leg and you bend down, moving in at the hips. You gotta still think about pushing your bum out, basically, when you do a stiff-legged deadlift. And this also targets your core as well as your balance at the same time. And when you actually hit this perfectly, you get a very, very deep stretch at the bottom of the movement on your hamstring. So this actually works surprisingly effectively. No equipment, just on your leg. If you can't balance, then I would recommend holding the wall, a slight hold on the wall. Don't put too much pressure on whatever you're leaning on. Just use your fingertips and you will still get a stretch in that muscle group. After that, I just finish off to burn out with some resistance band RDLs. When I say this, it's just abbreviation for stiff-legged Romanian deadlifts, which are typically done with a barbell or a dumbbell. You're just replicating the movement here, which gives a very good stretch and elongation of the hamstring muscle. After that, that's my legs pretty much finished. I don't really have any other motivation to do more for my legs, due to the fact that I do a lot of stretching, a lot of the yoga, which actually does hit my legs, and I kind of have a leg pump after I finish yoga. So I finish off with abs, so I'm doing a tricep back to back to back of sit-ups, jackknives and heel touches, which really does burn out my abs, because personally I barely train abs, which I should do and I plan to do going back to the gym, but I just do this tricep at the end because I have time, no equipment, so you can do this tricep. So in total, that is exactly what I'm doing here in quarantine to stay active. Doing something is better than nothing. Also, due to the fact that this here is a long quarantine, it's 3 weeks. So if I did nothing for 3 weeks And when I come out here, I'll be going back to the gym. It would be very tough to start lifting weights again, having not done any sort of activity. So for me, mentally, I've just kept it as like a preparation. So when I go back, I'm not completely weak, which I still will be weak, but let's just say that your body has a bit more adaptation. If you have been doing like 500 push-ups a day, your triceps, your chest, your shoulders will have a bit more strength in them. So this will translate when you go back. And this is a great way, I think, to stay fit, do an upper body workout, a lower body workout, and stretching or yoga. And I think with these three combinations, you can stay relatively active in your quarantine. Lastly, I will touch upon the food, but food-wise, it's tough because I have set meals here for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so I don't have any flexibility. I can't prepare, I don't know, salad bowls and lean sources of protein. And of course, my other option is to order food, and it's very tough. I mean, you can order from healthier places, but they are more expensive. And when you order food, you usually want to order something delicious, not a big salad bowl. So these are my tips on staying fit in quarantine. I have a week left to go here personally. Thanks guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.